Second try to start off the season. Sorry for the delay, but apparently RaceNet can handle our mystery GP. And we have a loading screen, which is quite the progress. And this is the point where I start to get finally more excited about the upcoming season. If you are new to Silly Season Racing League, this has been a single division only league on Tuesdays for now what was a year, basically a year from now it was born into the second rhythm of the F1 2023 game, where we hosted 2 seasons before we headed into a quick summer break and then had another 2 seasons. This is our 5th now. My name is Herman the German. I've been racing full-time for this league, and it's full where to start us off inside of this 18-minute qualifying session. We're going to be talking about drivers and everything in just a moment. And there will be a break time between the start of... I'm just gonna... Since I actually can do that... Where's my... Here. Just gonna turn the particles off. To hopefully see less rain on our screens. Who's racing out of the pit lane already? That was a V car. Okay, it didn't really change anything, that's fine, I guess. My PC should be able to handle this. Okay. So, this was a single division. First and foremost, and formerly known as No Stabilizers Allowed, a league hosted by our P11 of Fellison, who's just exiting the pit lane. He was organizing this for a couple of seasons now. We just concluded the 6th season in mid-December, just 1 month ago. And you are seeing now what is going to be a fusion of these 2 leagues under the organization of Quincy, who is also racing here tonight, and we will have mixed upgrades. It's not, and this is the most important thing, it's not decided by pace, it's decided by availability. So if you can race on Tuesdays, you can race on Mondays, and if you race on Mondays, you can race on Tuesdays until the grid was until the lineups were full. We're going to talk about them just now, so if you have first impression of what is going to be happening from here on out before we head for the first laps here. For this season, and that has been a quick rundown, and you can see that Control has posted the fastest lap already. Ines McLaren has also had a good showing in No Stabilizers Allowed earlier in the last season, where we raced in Austria for what was the 3rd race, and that was won by Feddersen, who's currently leading the pack, and Russian City just improves past his 14.2, and you can see that multiple drivers are on multiple different tires. And Andy Andre is on the full wet, and he only puts in a 15.1, as I have to get myself acquainted to the different cars of these drivers. And I just want to keep an eye on these tire choices, because as you can see, as Bosnian is also starting his first flying lap now, that multiple drivers have opted for the intermediate tire despite these heavy rain for this moment in time. And there's Diego as well on the forward, posts a time that is good enough for P9. So Ibo starts a lap, and behind that, that's T-Bran, who's just filling in for tonight. And there is Maverick, who's starting a lap, and Quincy as well, currently in third position. And then we have the second Ferrari, who just jumped into 10th position. That's Rowley as a reserve as well. And that was the teammate of Robastian, who started the lap as well. And that was Krankjorg, also reserve driver. So yeah, basically reserves for today. Just a quick rundown. T-Bran at McLaren. Just gonna give you a quick rundown here. Rowley at Ferrari, since Vincenzo has been handed a free race ban for his actions in Spain, forcing a collision at the end of the race into turn 1. And there's also Rowley, just being around, good friend of Quincy, and he's gonna take the wheel of the Ferrari today. And other than that, we have a rookie, and that is, I would have been a VS fan, but he is not here with us today, so only two reserve drivers here for tonight, as Fallerson improves on his previous best lap time. And we can see that Moksha has jumped into second position with the Williams currently locking out the front row of the grid. Very well done by these guys. Let's see how much faster Rush can go, and he goes faster by 1.3 seconds to put his Alpine into P1. And now you can see that the intermediate tire is the dominant tire in terms of lap time right now. Let's see who is next to cross the line. That is a Mercedes, and that can only be the Mercedes of Bosnian Helmet. I'm just gonna turn off the tires here, and there's still quite a jump, and Bosnian finds his second Wolf of lap time, as the 8th place Energetic 6 is coming over the line. Not faster in validation here. And then it's Control who starts his second attempt. We have also Kovachka into 8th position. After that, T-Bran in 6th. Multiple drivers also joining us in the pit lane now. Quincy is starting off another attempt. It's coming at you thick and fast in these moments. And there's Moksha again over the line. Seems to be starting another attempt, as it's quite common to have some fuel in the car and get used to these tires. And you can see that the heavy rain has cleared off, as you have seen before. My particles on PC are turned down to low, but there's still an easy way to tell if it's drying up or not. Bosnian over the line. He's currently in 4th position. What can he do? He jumps to 3rd. Roughly 2.5 tenths faster. Ibo has a moment where he runs wide. Where's the second? Energetic 6 into 2nd. I was looking for that. I was looking for the second V-Cup driver, and Control jumps into 2nd. And there was also, I think that was Kuan. Yeah. Another invalidation here, unfortunately. And Fallerson back into 3rd. As now we are waiting for Quincy. Currently down into 7th. And he's up into P5 again. And behind that, that's the Williams of Moksha once again. And he jumps to 4th. It's again a lockout of a set row for Williams. First, it was the first row. Now it's the second. as Andy Andre currently fighting the car into the last turn. Only 10, shortest amount of corners, or tiniest amount of corners, goes to provisional pole position, as we have the first Haas to be out on an out lap, and there's also Red Bull after that. That's Maverick just starting his lap. Still needs to find a lap time here, because we have 4 drivers, including both Haas's, Juan and also Maverick. That is DDB890 for you on the timing tour on your left hand side of your screen. And you can see multiple drivers are pushing for lap times now. Let's see, Russian Series, no, that's not him. Juan starting another attempt here. Quincy over the line to set another one. And I'm just expecting to see, I'm just waiting to see if there are any chances of this weather, of this wet patch drying up. As we've seen another improvement over the line. And there's still Robastian currently only in 12th position. We're just gonna be looking out here. There are 2 drivers in the pit lane. The rest is out on track. Veriduco 2P12. Then there's Daryl into 3rd position. Next to cross the line was a Mercedes. Now Engine starts his lap. Who's the next guy? And it's Rowley into 9th. And there was also a spin there with Energetic into 1st position. Provisional pole position for the Dutch driver. He has control, takes it away by 0.3 of a second. Rush was squarely on the exit, and there is Fallison once again into P1. 0.4 of a second faster. Let's see who's next. T-Brand to start the lap. There's Quincy. Has finished off his one into 4th position. Well done. And Robastian takes it away from all of them. Diego into 3rd. Also very good lap time. Then Moksha takes it away. This is just an impededly crazy chain of events where they're just trading punches in the latter stages of this short qualifying session. We are nearing the end here, and all of the drivers are currently out. They are looking to find space on the track. They are looking to find that slight bit of improvement where they can find another position, maybe 2, maybe 3. Daryl on another attempt here, as we see Engine cross the line, has done a slower lap here, 19.0. That is not good enough to jump into points paying positions, which would be P1 to P15. Control is behind. No, that's an Alpine. That should be the Alpine of Russian Series. At one stage leading this pack in terms of time, as T-Brand jumps to P11. Multiple drivers pulling into the pit lane now. Diego invalid. There's Ibo starting another attempt. Changyork invalidation. Where is Bosnian? Needs to find better lap time. He is currently down in 14th. That would be a disaster for him. One of the fastest guys from no stabilizers allowed from the previous season. Did not race too much, but is also up inside of the podium positions. Daryl jumps to 4th. 11.444. Only needing 2 digits, 2 numbers to make his time. Ingine over the line, 17.9. Control, 10.6, 0.4 faster than the previous best time that has been held by Robastian. Maverick into P18 at the bottom of the left hand side screen. T-Brand into P5 as the other V-Carb of Energetic just jumps into the pit lane. Sir Ibo once again in validation. Also Bosnian over the line. It's just, you see them start a lap and they're coming! And they're coming back to jump to the top. Bosnian into P1 as Shankyok stays in 13th for the moment on a 13.333. He has not found the improvement he needs. We are just running the clock down as we are expecting more track evolution to come towards us. 3:45 left on the clock. Bosnian currently on an in-lap, it seems. Andy Andre started another attempt here, so the next car across the line is Kovachka, who's starting a lap soon as well. There's no fuel left on this car, so next should be T-Bran. Yeah, he has another attempt, but it's close to Maverick, so he's losing time there. Probably shaking his head in frustration and still goes faster. Robustian starts a lap behind them. And then there's also Rowley on his next attempt. I have no idea how many these drivers did today. Oh, sorry, wrong button. And Gina into the pit lane. And where is Robustian? Where is he? Crankyork over the line, starting another attempt. There's Robustian. Where is Rush? 12 in the pit lane. Kwan on another attempt, starting it now. There is Daryl next to cross the line into third position. Third, and there's Andy Andre to make it a Mercedes 1-2 in the Styrian Alps. And it's the first driver to have a time below the 1 minute 10s. And he does so by battering the opposition. Half a second improvement compared to his teammate, found more than 2.5 seconds almost compared to his previous best. What can Robustian do? Currently is second up, jumps into P1, beating Andy by half a second himself. This guy is just massively quick as Rowley goes into P5 with Kovatska into 16th. He needs a better time than a 1:14.1 to make jumps here, as so Ibo is... Oh, people have been opting for the other tire, for the slick tire, and that might cost them. That is certainly not a ready track for intermediates. We didn't see DRS enabled. They are just gambling. Let's see. Energetic. That's a cooldown lap. That's a cooldown lap from Energetic. Let's see. Daryl over the line. We're just gonna wait and see. And Fallison, 1 minute 8.9. So this track is drying up very... Hey, there it is. The DRS has been enabled. And Quincy, Rush, as well as Energetic, maybe Ingenia as well. They have all pulled a blinder here. Blind of a strategy. The weather has dried up. All of these guys currently looking comfortable. Still can find improvement, I suspect, but they will be vulnerable to fast guys like Rush, like Bosnian, to set times on fresh, slick tires, and that is obviously the tire of choice in qualifying. As Sebo is still on the full wet, I have no idea if his weather radar is down or not, but you need to certainly check what you are doing here today. On board lap with Quincy now. He can jump massive position, needs to have this lap valid. It's a bit deep into turn number 1. But he's one of the first guys to use the DRS, the drag reduction system. Finds a second as Russian series is up into P2. And the time is done. Andy finds more time than that. 8.446. Fallison, I don't think there's any improvement from him. What about Robustian? Can he find something? Second sector seems to be faster. Can he go to provisional pole position? Yes, he can. He has done so by roughly 0.4 of a second. Once again, Rowley into 5th position. Good effort by the Turkish driver. Over the line now, Rush. Energetic 6 to go to provisional pole position. What can Quincy do? Can he jump into 1st position? Quincy! You've done it, my guy, and there's a blockage for Bosnian helmet. He cannot improve past this. And by the time we hit the checkered flag, Quincy and Energetic 6, two of the league's admins, are having the front row locked out. Derek cannot improve past his position. What about Andy? What about Rush? It's done. Quincy is on pole position for the Austrian GP. What a qualifying that has been. Oh my word. Can you believe it? The gamble paid off, the DRS got activated, and Quincy takes the first position after what can only be described as a historic qualifying for SSRL in this new season that has just started. 1 out of 16 races with Energetic, Fellas and Robustian. Then Bosnian Helmet in 5th, Rush 6th there, Andy only 7th, Rowley 8th. Then Daryl, Kuan, Control, T-Burn, Moksha, Oni 13th, Diego, Krank, York, Veroduko, Kovachka, Engineer, DBD8, 9-0. And I think it must have been Kuan in 20th there. What a session! Oh my word. What a session. Holy shit. Okay. We are using this time to talk about stuff out of the season. And that includes, give me a second. And that includes the calendar. It's a bit, it's a bit tiny, but you can see that one big headline for this season is gonna be a mandatory 2-stop season. And that means the drivers will have to use every tire at least once in the race. And obviously that means at least one outlap. That is going to make things very interesting. The current state of the game suggests that most of the races are one-stop, and it's not called Silly Season Racing League for nothing. So we found a gimmick, and we're just going to make it a lot more interesting and a bit confusing as well for me, because I'm certainly not going to be able to track every guy's tire choice throughout 2 stops with 20 drivers on the line. It's going to be Singapore, Belgium, Portimao with the first qualifying session, then a week's break, and then we're going to have Azerbaijan, Hungary, Canada as well, with Monza, our second full quali. Then a week's break again. You see the pattern here already. 4 races rounded off with a full qualifying. The third quarter is going to be Australia, China, Bahrain, Suzuka, as well as a full qualifying there. A week break, and then Saudi Arabia, the Netherlands, Miami, and Silverstone as our season finale, also with a full qualifying session. If you need another instruction, a guide to the race check. Oh, sorry, that's the wrong one. For tonight, it's gonna be Austria. It's 10 corners in total. It's 3 DRS zones. It's 4 straights. It's 2 fast left-handers inside of the infield. That's how we call it, and that is basically the rest of the track. Most of the times you don't overtake into turn 1, you overtake into turn 3 or 4, and if you're feeling brave and lucky, also turn 9 is your friend. And that is just how things are gonna be for today. I expect this mixed up grid to be very interesting to watch now in terms of strategy. And we are already underway in the background. So I'm just gonna go back to... There says hello, Quincy Goat, certainly he is, and that is one beautiful sight to behold as we talk driver strategies. Quincy, as well as Robustian, Rush, down to Kuan, who made it into 10th actually, so sorry for that. Sir Ibo was 20th, sorry Kuan. And I'm kind of used to the cars from last season where you and Rush were in the V Cup, so sorry, I have to get that right in my mind. And also Maverick is on the soft tire. Hard for T-Brand, hard for Crankyork, hard for Kovačka. And the rest, including Energetic, Fellas and Bosnian, Control, Moksha, Diego, as well as Veriduka, Engine and Sebo have opted for the medium tire. And I'm interested to see if people think it's gonna have some crashes in the opening laps and they just want to get rid of the soft tire. One of the tracks where you kind of can run it, but not too long. Also in the sprint race, you suffer a lot. The 2023 game, it was way easier. And you could actually handle a bit of different approach there. I had a very good race there myself in my own league. And we outsmarted them with the strategy where we went to the soft instead of the hard at the end of a race. And you can see that we're just gonna start it off with some of these drivers being on soft tires. Quincy is just gonna try to get an early advantage, have a good launch, and then you might think, even if he falls down, that he is not involved in incidences further down the field. Has been his kryptonite over the past 2 seasons on this year's game, as everyone is trying to park up. Yeah, only one did not got it done correctly, as we await a better shout towards the lights. We are not getting it. On board to start off the season with Quincy. There's Carnage in the background, and there's Robustian also into turn 1, and there's a collision with Fellas, and he runs him off the track. Quincy gets away well, leads the pack by almost half a second already, as they are all jostling for position. Robustian, there's also Bossy and Hammett. We are 5 wide into turn 3. Can you believe it? And there's a lock up by Russian Siri in 7th down there. And now there's better exit for Andy Andre. There's a 10-second time penalty for Fellison. Apparently gate positions under an incident where he was not allowed to overtake. Russell Siri is going down the order quickly, as well as Moksha in P11. Energetic has also lost touch already to the DRS of Quincy, who's just leading this race already. Bosnian in front of Andy Andre's teammate. Then it's Daryl, Fellas in control, Robustian, Russian C, and Rolly the reserve in your top 10 positions. No major incidences after just a bit of squeezing into turn 3, as there was a wild moment from Rush, and Quincy has already pushed. It's hammer time, and that is a phrase you will be hearing a certain driver getting told on the radio for next year, for the upcoming F1 season, as we watch Daryl being chased down by Fellison. All these different strategies, you might think they need to play the long game, but they need to start playing 4D chess at least, and that's what F1 is all about. Bosnian is charging down at the back. Let's remind ourselves, Mercedes has split the strategy, Williams have not, Ferrari have also not split the strategy, as well as Haas. They're all on the same tire, and we are gonna be seeing moves quite soon. Control also in this group. There's been a spin by Rowley, who goes down to 16th position. And there's a pit. There's pit lane entry from Fellison. Let's see what the tire choices are going to be. Is there a wing change coming here? There is a wing change, so he needs a new wing and different tires. We're going to be checking that out later, as Energetic is fighting both of the Mercedes. Andy on the inside with the soft tire. He wants to get by. He needs to get this move done on both of these cars in front of him. Yellow flag in the background, as we see Andy take to 2nd position and being in the comfortable position, but Energetic has a bit of a run back on him. The old switcheroo, the classic switchback, as Control is taking Daryl into turn 6, and there's Bosnian with a quick charge, and there's a virtual safety car. And if you are the soft tire, you want this now. Even if you give up your lead, you want this tire to be gone as soon as possible. Does Quincy think the same? He does not. Andy has cut the pit entry white line there and goes into the pit lane, but that can result in a penalty. Quincy also does this. He wasn't close to the pit entry. He just cut across the line. Okay, Quincy, you have to tell me how you want to do your roles. Bosnian stays out. Energetic and Control are now your leading pack. Daryl stays out. Robustian stays out. Lots and lots of drivers are thinking about the second tire here, as the DRS has been enabled. And there's a lunge to the inside. No, there's not. Robustian thought about it. And we have Quincy on hards. There's Andy on medium. So quite the aggressive strategy from the Romanian triple world champion. Not for this split, but for the previous split, where he fought against Rush and myself, as Bosnian is trying to get Energetic into turn 6. And Control is through on the inside as well. Multiple drivers have stopped. We have a very bunched up grid. And there's another pit stop from Fallison, as Diego took Veroduco into what was turn 6. I'm interested to see. Fallison is on the medium tires, is an almost lapped already. He is going to be lapped. He needs a rear safety car, and he needs it soon. Because there's certainly blue flag coming his way now. Yeah, there was it. Fallison is moving over across to let the leading pack by. And that caused a brief yellow flag, as Daryl is fighting Energetic, pushing him onto the curb. Robustian slips through as well. This slipstream, this DRS festival into turn number 3, as Control is fighting Andy on the inside, and now Robustian takes Daryl on the outside. What a move by the Romanian, as the Bosnian tries to steal the lead from the Hungarian into turn 6, that is now 7, but he leads. The McLaren still leads, the Mercedes leads, the Aston Martin leads the Red Bull, and then the V-Carb is, the rest of the pack is currently still a bit behind, as Ibo goes into the gravel trap for the brief yellow flag, and we are racing on the main straight as we see a move into the pit lane by by Fallison. Fallison has decided to call it a day. He was lapped. You can't unlap yourself inside of a safety car phase, so he was doomed. But there was, people still need to pit in front of them, so I don't know if he called the trigger too early. I have no idea how I'm gonna write down notes on these events, because there was just 6 laps blinking past, but yeah, let's see. My voice needs some calm moments now. Quincy is currently in 10th position, has been overtaken by Andy, and is probably trying to stay with him now, but he's on the harder compound of tires. But that tire can go very, very long now. And they have already done 2 checks, 2 check marks, two different tires, as the top 2 are approaching turn 1. Robustian is also there. Daryl has lost touch. His tires are wearing out and Energetic. And there's Andy with the fastest lap, as Krankjörg receives the first 3-second time penalty, and Energetic to the inside. There's Control, takes Bosnian on the inside. Is there a switcheroo move here? There's also DRS swapping now to the Mercedes. Horrible angle. I don't want to see this. And Bosnian leads. Oh, a bit deep into the turn. Turn 5 is he's on the outside. Now he's on the inside for 6. They are fighting through 6 and 7. Control on the outside, has to go a long way around, but there's also a lot of grip there. And he's currently now leading. Is there a switcheroo move? lining for Bosnian. Are they racing side by side into turn 9, and the Mercedes driver does it. And also Bastian and Daryl into the pit lane. They have been using that soft tire to their advantage, but you can see how much they gained. How much they lost compared to Quincy. Look at this. Rowley is now into the pit lane. Quincy, he's gonna fly past them. They have completely caught them by surprise. And they will need to use the soft or the hard again. And there is opting for softs. Robustian hards. Rowley mediums. What tire is... Wasn't there a third guy? Oh, well, I missed it apparently. Boston leads control. What a joke. Yeah, I was a bit optimistic from Boston into turn 1. But you shouldn't have quit so early. The top 3 didn't pit yet, so they still needed to do pit stops. You didn't. So there was still an opportunity, I think. It's the season of opportunities, but it's also the season of confusion. And certainly tires. Yeah, I know you were left, but they still needed to go in twice. You technically didn't, and one safety car could have gotten you ahead again. Smoksha is now into the pit lane. He's gonna be losing out, as well as Quincy has lost touch to Diego and Andy, as Control is fighting Bosnian once again. 3-second time penalty for Robastian. That's certainly good for the other guys. And he has not found a nice outlet for his tires to get warm. His Energetic is still fighting them. Quick reminder. The person who set behind them at the pace. Okay, no. Top 4 still have not pitted yet. Only Moksha has pitted twice already, as well as Chunk York. And we will be looking at them tires at the end of the session. And if they don't comply with the rules, it's an additional probably 18 seconds. So that's a full pit stop here, as Kovachka receives a 3-second time penalty for exceeding track limits. And the top 3 are approaching what is turn 2 and 3 now. Control defends to the inside, and Bosnian completes that move with ease, but has to take a longer line, the outside line, to get back on the throttle. And now Control was looking at it, but he did not dare to do that move. Russian Series currently on the hard tires, also pitted under the VSC, has lost out compared to the rest, and now is chasing down Daryl into turn number 4. But the soft tire from the Red Bull is working better under braking, but he just shoves the Alpine off the road, and he's not gonna like that. Anyway, have a good one. Yeah, see you. And Bosnian runs right on the exit there, so you see Maverick and Kjankiork battle it out for what is P18, and also the Haasers have swapped positions. And there is very little Bosnian can do right now. Not that many percentages of his ERS left, as there was a brief yellow flag, and I think that was caused by Diego, yes. Has lost the position to Quincy, has lost touch to Andy. Now there's Robastian on the inside. He thinks about the opportunity and just shoves him off the road there a bit. I don't think he was significantly alongside there, judging by this camera angle. Let's see if that one will go to the stewards. And there is re-overtaken Russian Series, as the top 2 have now gotten away from Energetic, who's also jumping into the pit lane. There's a yellow flag, a spin by Ingine, and Seibo's catching up to that. Control goes to the inside. Looks down the inside, makes himself seen, but does not attack. And Energetic is coming out behind this field of cars, including Kovachka, Russian Seer, and Daryl. So that's inside of a fighting group as Andy takes third position. Or does he? Off T-Brand, he's using all of his battery to make it past the McLaren reserve drivers on the harder compound of tires, the hardest compound, and he holds it around the outside! T-Brand, my guy! What a lovely move as Merrick gets out of the way and Bosnian Helmet jumps into the pit lane after 11 laps on the medium tires. T-Brand is still on his first set of tires. Should jump into the pit lane very soon as well. Only Daryl and Crankyork are currently on the soft tires. Setter is just pushing into the pit lane, destroying the property of the FIA on the pit entry. And Bosnian has rejoined in 7th position. Is using the hard tire now. And is on the second out of 3 different compounds he needs to be using today. Quincy is into 4th position, with Control still needing to pit, as well as T-Brand. He's technically 2nd behind Andy Andre. Crankyork has received another 3-second time penalty. Ibo, and there's a retirement, and there's a virtual safety car once again. And that is the perfect opportunity for Andy to jump into the pit lane, as well as for Quincy. He can still use the medium tire. He's currently on the hards. Maybe that's a bit too early, because that hard tire certainly could have gotten him a long way. Control and T-Brand are obviously taking those opportunities now, and they have saved a bit of time. Well, huge amount of time for their first pit stop, which yeah, can't be said for what Energetic just experienced, as well as Bosnian, because Bosnian is now behind. Bosnian has lost what was certainly his lead of the race to the virtual safety car. That Control has now... Oh no, it's a full safety car! Thank you very much, game, for not clearly showing that. Obviously, I didn't look on the track map, so it's a full safety car. And we can calm our nerves just for a moment. And we're gonna be looking at pit stops. So Control just pitted for the first time. Needs to go to the softs at any stage in the remaining 22 laps. Bosnian also another tire. Tibra as well, Diego as well. Veroduko needs to pit at least one more time. Ibo and Ingine as well. But one thing you can also do is, if you want to save a certain set of tires, and we had a very wet qualifying, you can actually use an additional tire if you want. So Moksha, who had a very difficult start to the race, has currently opted for a medium soft, hard medium strategy. And it's still, yeah, a bit over half race distance to go. And he's currently the only driver who has completed, I think, the whole thing. No, Andy has, Quincy has, Robustian has. Sidera is on double soft hard. Rolly has completed it. Rush has. So as Korn and Moksha and Maverick, as well as Crankyork. So we have to wait and see what the other guys are doing. Let's look at positions gained. Control up 10. T-Brand up by 8. Viraduko up by 6. Kovetska up by 6. Diego as well up by 6. Andy by 4. Sebo by 4. Biggest loser is Fallison down by 17. Energetic as well down by 7. Russian Series down by 7. It's currently stuck in between a rock and a hard place. Has pitted for fresh medium as well. I think the guys don't want the hard tire to be there in their way. And with a safety car at half race distance, I think they kind of want to have the faster, even if it's less durable tire. Which I find surprising. I think if you start on a soft and you wear on the mediums just before the safety car, and you're on the hards now, which is the case for a couple of these guys, then you're in a good spot. And as I said that, Andy and Rowley come to mind, and Andy can certainly end the race on this tire. Quincy as well, but he has to preserve them. And I can see there's a certain haze between first and second. So lap car is in between these guys. And the safety car that has just been updated at the top left will be coming in at the end of this lap. And then you need to be aware that there is a chance of this information being still in the top left corner of your screen. And don't get irritated by that. Certainly the game's fault. Control is in fact controlling the pace. Needs to keep the safety car at a distance of at least 10 cars length. And then he is in full control of the pace of the pack, and he needs to use the buffer that he has with the lapped car to his advantage. Slows the pack right down, and you can see in the bottom of your screen when he puts the trigger, and he does that now, and there's a certain mix-up in the back. Rush is losing a position there. Let's see, Bosnian. Yeah, he gets by there quite easily, but Andy is not let through. Diego getting 3-second time penalty. Ingene is moving out there. T-Brand and Quincy are fighting into turn number 3. Needs to get moves done quickly if he wants to hang around the DRS chain of Andy. And we are racing once again in Austria. Multiple driver swap in the background. Robastian is taking to the inside there of T-Brand, who's just losing out. He's on his fresh medium tires, but he's certainly not in a bad spot, but still needs to pit at least once. Both Ferraris don't have to, as well as Andy. And Rush is up into 8th position, fighting off Diego and Kovetska. And Control has taken a lead of 1.6 seconds, thanks to that additional lap car in between. And we are approaching halfway race distance, and it has been already a huge race for the anniversary of SSRL. Almost 1 year ago, the first race was held in Azerbaijan on the F1 23 game, and we are now racing more and more inside of this league, and that includes a second division. A second split has been opened up by the revival of the no stabilizers allowed, with hopefully more and more drivers being able to race here and have their availability set to what they need. 1.9 seconds already the gap to Bosnian Helmet. By the lead McLaren of Control, then it's Andy and Quincy behind with Robastian as well. Quincy seems to be the odd one out here. Certainly not in this form of a lifetime. For some time now, has been inside the top 10 in its championship season. In season 1 for this league, and before that, over a year ago, in all assists off. Previously, host league by Quincy as well, where he did most of the park. Bastian takes a second driver on this lap, and he is now into third position. Has also completed the pit stops that are required, and 2.2 at the front now on the same tire compound compared to Bosnian. He's not feeling that hard very well at the moment. Other guys behind on medium tires. Again, a couple of guys with time penalties, but at this stage they're not really relevant to us now. There's a bigger gap down between 13th and 14th, while the rest are really just training along, including Diego and Rolly, who just have swapped positions for P10, as Robastian now takes second off of Bosnian helmet, the previous and last official champion of no stabilizers allowed. He is now gunning for P1 as Andy is going down the inside of Bosnian helmet. They are fighting. There are no rules for staying behind, for letting the other guy through at Mercedes from the first moment on inside of this young season. And just as he completed that move, he gets a 3-second time penalty. So Andy needs to be thinking about how he wants to set this up, but at the same time he can go to the end now. Out of these two Mercedes we are just watching, he's the only guy who can go to the end. And Quincy's gonna be loving life right now. Robastian has a time penalty, can go to the end. Bosnian cannot, and he has a time penalty, can go to the end. And Control has lost a bit of their lead, as we are going back to Daryl fighting with Russian Syria and Kovatska, contender for a previous championship, and he's back with Alpine, which he was finger racing in a previous season as well. And he is now currently in 9th, a bit stuck in the midfield. Had a good opening stint, but then the pit stop wasn't really working in his favor, and then the safety car left everyone who didn't pit beforehand in front of him, and he has now lost touch to the guys in front. 3.2 seconds to the next group ahead, as Robastian has taken more time off of the lead from Control, as Andy has swapped again, overtaking his teammate, and Tibran has swapped with Quincy, and that costs both of them the DRS to the next car. He currently still has it, but I don't think Tibran is way faster than Quincy. They're on the same tire, but the DRS is very powerful as Daryl takes back 7th. And Kovatska stays in front of Russian Siri. Fastest lap again by the Romanian in the Mercedes. Andy Andre currently begging that extra point from the fastest lap. And they have caught up. They have caught up to Control. Still needs to pit, as well as does Bosnian. And they will probably try to do that soon. And every safety car is worth more if you have the right tire left that you need to go on. That's a new opportunity. Let's go back to this group on the inside. Moksha, Daryl. Moksha is also involved in this. And Daryl is spinning down the order. Was there contact with the Williams of Moksha? We just went on board. But then watched to see if Moksha could actually complete that move. Let's go back to the top 4. Deep by Control. Robustian is looking to take the lead away from the Hungarian. Side by side. 10-second time penalty for Daryl. That's unfortunate. And he retires the car. Maybe too much damage. Maybe too much frustration from this contact. And no points for him in this race. And let's see if any one of these guys has more pace to find. Energetic has overtaken Rowley for P11. That's currently still good points. And Egina has retired inside of the pit lane. And that is our 4th DNF of the race, with Ferguson and Changhyuk previously. Not wanting to continue. Control is now defending from Andy Andre. The first Mercedes is also now in the hunt. And Control is losing time. He still needs to pit. Currently the gap. And he would be coming out in 13th. As he now has lost the position to Andy. And it's the Romanian 1-2. With T-Brand and Quincy losing more and more time to them. But as I said before, Bosnian needs to pit still, Control needs to pit, and T-Brand does as well. And has been a moment by T-Brand, I think. And he has lost the position to Quincy. Is now 2.7 seconds behind the top 4, but on his own. So Control and Bosnian are using this group of faster guys, of probably the fastest group there is today, to extend their pit window, and then 10 laps to go, maybe blast out fast laps, but still need to make moves. Top 4 are currently all Mercedes engines, including both the works team and 2 separate customer teams, as there's been an incident with Diego lost. Oh, and there's a safety car, and now there's the time. Now there's the time for pit stops. And they're gonna be licking their lips and rubbing their hands together, because that is now the time. That is their calling to go into the pit lane and put fresh soft tires on. Even if you have completed it, you should do it. I'm surprised that no one is really working with the pit lane entry line, as Diego crash gives us a full course safety car. That's gonna be fresh softs for most of the field, I expect. Andy goes to some medium tires. Energetic, yeah, it's looking very, very dicey here. Control now in a better opportunity, maybe the best opportunity to take a win here. Both cars around him have a time penalties, and Quincy is currently on the podium for what can only be described as a finally on the radio. And Moksha is into 5th. He's gonna be charging towards that position as well. Rush will as well. Has won lots and lots of positions. Let's check tires again. And Bosnian has not swapped to the soft tire, which is gonna be interesting. Veriduko, Diego as well. They have penalties awaiting, and these guys are out as well. So 3 drivers have not completed the newly established rule of running every tire compound there is when it's a dry race. If this would have been a race with interference of rain, then it's just like the real life situation in terms of slick tires. If you started on the dry, for example, and it turned to inter, you don't need to put in every other slick tire that you hadn't run at that stage. You need no extra rules for that. It's just like the real thing. Quincy Road, no need to use all of the compound tires, just to two-stop. Oh really? You sure? Because we spoke just before the mystery GP drawing about that. I needed a reminder if it was like this or if you needed to use all of the tire compounds. Maybe we have to check. Maybe we have to check admin chat, but I'm certain that they need to. Also, Bosnian asked about this like 2 minutes before we started the first lobby, so I'm certain there was a discussion about this. You remember in the admin call? I've seen 4 people giving a thumbs up. Okay, yeah, I'm certain that they need to do all of the tire compounds. So, quick reminder: if this would have been a red race, you just needed to go to any other slick tire you wanted after a start in the rain or maybe a later rain phase. So if there was a certain rain phase where also especially DRS was disabled, then that counts as a wet patch of the race. As Robustian is restarting this race with what is gonna be now 8 laps remaining. It's a sprint race to finish off our first race of the season. Robustian and Quincy gets a time penalty. No, Quincy! All you had to do. All you had to do. Bosnia has lost so much of it because Andy went into the pit lane first. Oh, Jesus. They're pushing EIS like crazy, and he isn't really. That's why he's almost losing. The DRS trigger in front, and he's also on the medium tire. Control just needs to manage 3 seconds throughout 8 laps. I think that's 36 kilometers left for racing, roughly. Quincy is under pressure from Moksha as Rush puts pressure onto Moksha as well. Oh, there's a bit of contact. All ERS has been dispatched by all of these guys. Quincy is about to be overtaken by Russian Siri. And on the inside there's Moksha. But he stays ahead of the Williams. As the top 3 are bunched back together. Have settled the rhythm after the first flying lap under the safety car. After the safety car period. Control had a lucky safety car. Get back into the position. I have to start thinking about questions for these guys when all of this chaos has unfolded. But they only want the top 3. Well, certainly want to speak to Quincy. Side by side racing with T-Bran and Bosnian. Mercedes on the outside of turn 3. SDDS now, and there's Kovetska running at him as Andy is racing control for second. And he has completed the move. Romanian want to restore, but they both have time penalties, so it's still control, then it's Rush. And then currently it's Moksha. Very unlikely podium after what I've seen in terms of pace. But you need to keep it on the black stuff for the remaining now 5 laps. 5 laps to go in this race. Quincy is losing time because he has deployed. Yeah, most of it has been used. Robastia there. Oh, they're 3 wide almost into turn 3, and there's been contact from Rush into control. And Andy and Robastian are benefiting from that massively, as Moksha has now caught up to this group as well. And the top 6 are within one of each other. Inside of that DS chain, control and Rush going at it once again on the outside. There's no real space to use for the Alpine there, as this turn naturally drifts to the outside despite it not being off camber. Robastian leads, Andy Andre leads, control, Rush, Moksha and Quincy, and soon it's gonna be Bosnian as well. But if, to my understanding, he has not completed the rule correctly, he will be penalized and move further down the grid. And he leads the race. That is for position. His medium's working quite nicely. 6 lap old soft tires. Have they found their end at this stage? Only, yeah, both the Mercedes have opted for this tire. And Andy is pushing 7/10 of the lead. Making gaps. Oh, Rush was loose there on the exit. He's gonna be coming under pressure from Moksha. All fighting for the race lead, for the net race lead, because they don't have time penalties. Quincy does, and he will be at the moment moved down. Energetic, fighting Kovetska, fighting T-Bran. And the V-Cup driver takes 8th position. And Moksha fights Rush into turn 4. Can he get the move done? He can. Control is thinking, okay, just play this cool, play this safe. It's 2 more laps at the start of the next one. Rush runs wide. Oh, be careful, Rush. Boeing has a 3-second time penalty. Wrong Alpine. And he has this huge chain of cars behind him. Everyone is using a different line of braking. Oh, Quincy had a moment, I think. He went all loose on the exit. and has now lost the position to Bosnian, as Energetic has been re-overtaken by Kovetska. It's fine, Quincy, don't panic. Top 5 has stayed the same. It's fine. Can't believe we are already here. Intense 36 laps of racing, and Andy has taken it away, but not by much. They will be all jumping his position. Quick reminder, 3 seconds will demote him to what's probably going to be 4th position as of right now. Most of the guys in the top 10 have gained positions over their starting, and there's no move here for any position coming up. I think Control is not in the need to risk it. Rush, oh yeah, bit of a lockup into turn 4, but there's still a fight. There's a fight between Energetic and T-Bran. Kovaska has stayed ahead, barely any air is left for the V-Carb, hanging it around the outside. T-Bran on the inside. Oh, there's contact, but we have to jump to what is gonna be a race win on track. But I think that will go to Control. It takes the opening. Oh, Quincy has spun it. No, Quincy, what are you doing? You are losing it on the final turn of the race. As Moksha is promoted into 3rd, and he was fast enough to get that time penalty down to 2nd position. Russian 5th, Bosnian in 5th. No, Russian 4th, Bosnian in 5th. Robustian down to 6th, T-Brand. Energetic Rolly. Oh my god, Quincy. How have you lost it on the last corner of the race? 2.8 seconds now behind 10th position. And G-Dave says Quincy still being himself, I see. From hero to zero in 36 laps. Oh my word. What a way. What a way. Very, very interesting podium here. Only Messiah. If you have no commentator for tomorrow, you know what happened. You mean my voice? What a race. Robustian also takes the fastest lap point away. And we're gonna look at these to confirm what kind of strategies these drivers have done for today. Control, Andy, Moksha, your top 3. We're gonna speak to them just in a moment's time. Give me a second and then we will be right back. Give me a second. All right, we are back for some drivers interviews after today's very chaotic and exciting Austria GP control. You have taken the first race win of the season. That has been a very hectic and very entertaining race, and certainly a new way to experience this game with the mandatory two stop. You had a very lucky safety car, to say the least, at the end there, and pulled through with one of the guys not having time penalties in the top six there. How was the race from your side? And tell me about how you thought this race was working for you until the safety car came out.
Hello, hi everyone. This two safety car is very lucky for me. I think that's the reason why I raised the win. But it's a very nice racing, a very nice battling. So I'm looking forward to the very exciting season.
So obviously, strategy is going to be very important throughout this season, especially. What was your first game plan when going into this race? Because every tire was basically used at the start. You were certainly going to look at the hard tire, probably going from start to finish almost, and then you had this stint where people on the VSC and the first safety car boxed and caught up to you guys. Did you just try to focus on your own kind of idea what you were going to try to do with the strategy, or did you just try to improvise as much as you could?
Nah, this is my strategy from the first lap. So the main strategy is go boxing to lap 13 to hard tires, and luckily the safety car is coming to the lap 30. So and after I thinking about go for the soft tires to 26 or 30 lap. So yeah, the second safety car is also likely one.
That is true, obviously. We're going to be having a 16 race long season, including with 4 full qualifying sessions. Next track is going to be Singapore. What do you think of this track? Do you like it? Do you hate it?
I like it. In the last season, I win it, so I'm looking forward.
Okay, looking forward to see that as well. And also, we got the first rain shower done for the season. Congratulations again, and speak to you next time.
Thank you.
Bye. Yeah, second place is going to be Mercedes driver Andy Andre. Yeah, Andy, obviously, when looking at what could have been a very dominant performance throughout here today, you certainly had all hands full to do. You had the undercut strategy also with Quincy synced up there when the VSC came out, and obviously safety car and that time penalty made work a lot more difficult for you with other people joining this kind of top group at the end when this just turned into a sprint race. What was your first initial reaction to how this race went down, and obviously the reaction there at the end where you just clinched out that 3-second time penalty to still be on the podium here tonight?
Honestly, I'm incredibly happy with the final result. I wouldn't think I would go so high up at the beginning. P7 was a really difficult place to start, but luckily I didn't have any major incidents, and the race flowed pretty nicely. And at the end it was a bit of a tough job to manage that 3-second penalty. I was afraid I would end up anywhere up to P8 or 10. I didn't know what was happening behind, but I can see that the DRS train was keeping after the last safety car. So luckily, just at the end, having had the time penalty already, I had no other warnings. I just decided to send it everywhere throughout the lap in the last couple of laps. And this is a track where if you are aggressive and if you take risks, you can gain a lot of time, which I did. And happily it worked out. Maybe also going for the mediums gave me a bit of a advantage. Perhaps the softs of the other people were falling off a bit in the final lap, but still, I'm really pleased with this result.
Yeah, obviously, that was one of the biggest points I wanted to talk about to you. The VSC came, you didn't opt it for a very long stint in terms of your tire choice. You didn't go for the hard tire, and also then the medium at the end makes a lot of sense from the driving point of view. The soft isn't really that durable here today. And you also started on the soft. Did you just try to make up a lot of positions trying to get into the front of the pack despite all of these DRS chains? Did you just wanted to stay out of the trouble? Or did you just try to make the other tires that were more available in the later stages of the race in terms of performance, yeah, go into a part of the race where it seemed like they would outperform even a very fresh set of soft tires?
Yeah, well, the plan with starting on the soft was maybe gain a couple of positions at the start, which I think I did, if I remember correctly, and also maybe go for an earlier stop than the others to try a bit of an undercut because yeah, P7 was pretty far down and I had a lot of positions to make up. And I knew that even if I was to pit early, the medium hard combination would take me to the end with no problems. But yeah, the VSC and then the two safety cars really threw out any such strategy. So I just went uh, with the safety cars in terms of tire choice.
All right, yeah, obviously we are looking at a very mixed-up grid for this season. You have been racing in both the Monday and the Tuesday division for what has been previously known as no stabilizers allowed. Couple of known faces are here. What do you expect from this season, looking into what's going to be 15 more races?
Oh, well, I'm not gonna mention anyone by name, but I think you know that some of the guys here are really uh, will give a really hard challenge. So I'm not expecting to win this season, but hopefully I'll be always somewhere in the top five, and with Bosnian as my teammate, which is a very fast driver, maybe we can think about the constructors championship. So I'll make that my main goal for this season.
Certainly. And there's just a quick word about Singapore. What is your initial feeling when you think about this track?
Uh, but I don't have any particular feeling for it. It's a difficult track, and yeah, very easy to end up without a front wing. But if you manage to get in the right rhythm and the right flow, it's pretty enjoyable to drive. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
All right, looking forward to what you can produce there next time. Thank you very much for your insights and congratulations
Yep.
again on second.
Yep. Thank you.
Bye. And the
Bye.
third driver on the podium is going to be Moksha. Yeah, Moksha back to big scoring ways. Obviously, the previous season you started off a bit weaker, and obviously every race counted more. But now you got a good and strong start. Benefited from guys having penalties and getting involved in inside the top 6 action at the what's only it's very short sprint race at the end there. How was the race from your perspective? You had early troubles, then came back throughout these two safety car phases. Describe the race to me from your side.
Yeah, I was very unlucky in the qualifying, so I started P13, I think. So I was right away in the midfield battle, trying to make passes. After the first BIC, I pitted. Not sure if it was the right choice. I thought before another safety car or before not another safety car appears, I have a mandatory stop already behind me. But honestly, after the first stop, I didn't know where I was because the two stop is really hard to get to know which which driver has how many stops. And yeah, so I was just driving my best, making passes, had good battles with Russian Asiri, tried to catch up to the front guys. Yeah, I struggled a bit with moving under braking. I think that was quite a lot in this race. So it, there was a lot of actions to avoid any crashes, which I felt couldn't make my initially pace on that track today. But yeah, P3 is a good way to start in a new year, in a new season. I'm happy.
All right. Yeah. Obviously, you had a previous outing in the fourth season for what was initially just a couple of weeks ago. You kind of converted that pace and also not running over the track limits too much. How much of a different track did you find it today compared to the last time you raced it in season 4 here?
I think it's the same track. I had the same setup. To stay in the lines was kind of a goal for me, because I know it's a track where people get penalties very very frequently, and yeah, that was my target, just to get without penalties to make 1 or 2 places good. But yeah, it worked.
Yeah, certainly it worked at the end. Yeah, looking ahead for this season, what do you expect from this mix-up field? Obviously, I expect the attendance to be a lot higher compared to previous no stabilizers allowed seasons. Maybe what is your target for the upcoming season? You have been finding pace more and more throughout, especially after your first Monza victory. Just under this game, what is your main focus on for the next 15 races?
To be honest, I want to be in the top 5. My personal goal is to have an average 10 points per race, and of course we want to play the team game. I think with Pellison I got a very strong teammate. I think he didn't finish today, but yeah, I think we could be dangerous in the fight of the championship, and yeah, that's the main target. I don't think I get in the top 3 from my race pace, but yeah, I think the constructors with this teammate is possible.
Yeah, certainly there's a lot of different driver pairings that look very strong. Next track is going to be Singapore this time. People can actually practice for it. What is your gut feeling towards this track?
I've not raced it so much this year. I mean, I missed the at NSA the Grand Prix. Yeah, but historically I was pretty fast, and I really enjoyed the track. So I'm looking forward to it. Yeah.
All right, looking forward to what you can produce, and maybe see you back on the podium in 7 days' time. Thank you very much for your
Hopefully.
insight, and see you next time. Yeah, obviously, Quincy, that was your first pole position. How did it feel?
Oh, I was shaking. It was glorious. It was the best day of my life for the first 5 minutes until the first virtual safety came out.
Yeah, and especially from 0 to 0 on that last turn of the last lap.
Yeah, man. It's just I was talking. I was in a party chat with Rush, and I was talking and not focused on the last turn, and I just fucking, excuse my language, just completely lost it. And that's what you get for not being focused. So lesson learned, and next week we'll come back and we'll be more focused.
That's good. I'm just gonna give this warning to headphone users. Watch out for the last minutes of qualifying.
That's good. Okay, wonderful. I'm
Yeah,
excited to watch back.
Yeah, it was certainly exciting today. Holy shit. All right.
All right, wonderful. Thank you very much, Herman, for casting.
Yeah, no worries. And if you want to watch more of this, make sure to leave a follow on this channel, and see you in 7 days' time for the Singapore Grand Prix, race 2 out of 16. Have a good night. See you. Goodbye.